everybody? One of Wiisdom here. It is late Saturday night. I guess technically Sunday the 18th now. This was Skylander Day. This is Skylander weekend. They technically say day, but it's Saturday and Sunday. Needless to say, GameStop was supposed to have Wave 3 Skylanders. They were all going to be in stock. They were going to be 2 for $20, which is $10 a piece. You save $5 per sensei, which is not a bad deal. And I was pretty excited. I wanted to pick up Chain Reaction, Jingle Bell Chompy Mage, possibly if they had it, Enchanted Elven Forest and Master Pit Boss. Gonna figure something out based on what they had. Well, they basically had nothing. They've had Jingle Bell Chompy Mage for a little while now, and I was finally able to find one, so that was good. And then in the introductions, I unboxed Bad Juju, Flare Wolf, and Buckshot. I absolutely love these two characters. I've done nothing more than introduce them, but I am stoked about them. Bad Juju, I love the aesthetics of her, but in-game, based on the introduction, not near as excited about her. I was kind of down on her. I wasn't even thinking I really wanted to pick up Mystical, to be honest with you. Like, if Chain Reaction was there, this would be Chain Reaction and Jingle Bell Chompy Mage. That's a horrible thing to say, because if you're watching this, you're probably interested in or excited about, possibly both, Mystical Bad Juju. That's what we're going to unbox. She is ordinarily $14.99, as you can see here. I pulled the sticker off. The good news is, if you are all about keeping your Alt-Decos or your specials or your entire collection, for that matter, in the packaging, for whatever reason, GameStop continues to put these stickers prominence instead of just having like a big sign or something. Oh, I thought that said Mysticat for a second. I was like, what? Found an error, but yeah. Mystical Bad Juju. Now, the important thing to note, Mystical Bad Juju is exclusive to GameStop here in the US, EB Games, Canada, I assume Australia as well. She's apparently been available in Canada earlier than just this recent weekend. So, I have to say, and I mentioned this when we unboxed Bad Juju, that I thought this color scheme would look pretty good based on the pictures I had seen. And then in game, I said, I think this would be cool. So, this is an Alt-Deco. This is a spin-off. This is her standard form, right? We're going to do a comparison here shortly. I actually really do like the color scheme and the aesthetics of this. This is a twist on that. This is black, white, and red. It's almost like a custom painted Skylander, if you will. But the catch is, we couldn't do that good of a job on the translucent stuff, so that's going to be a win. She actually looks pretty dadgum cool, not only in her standard form, but also here in the Alt-Deco. Would I prefer to have invested the money in Chain Reaction? Yes. But it is what it is. I wanted to pick up, because I don't have Chompy Mage, and they didn't send out Jingle Bell Chompy Mage. So I kind of want to get Chompy Mage in on the action, and that's the only form I can do it. I just as well spend an extra $5 and save the money, I mean, it makes sense. You're saving $10 basically, so it works for me. And I gotta say, I want to believe that when I take her upgrade pass, she's gonna be amazing. We don't know until we do it, but the best thing, and I say this with every Alt-Deco, now when we take the paths, we will have them both taken care of at the same time. It's going to be streamlined. We won't have to reset and go back to the Sensei Shrine over and over again. One and done on each of them. Beautiful. Kind of worth the money in some cases if you value your time. I really do have to say, this is sort of a new thing. They've never had, if you're like, oh, I remember Mystical... Yes. Who was it? Star Strike? No. They've had Enchanteds. They've done a couple of odds and ends here and there. Never have we had a Mystical alternative color scheme. We have that now. Solar Flare Aurora, she just appeared out of the blue. We've had Nitro in the past, never Solar Flare. Never have we had Mystical. If you're thinking of anything similar, it would honestly be Enchanted. We had, Star Strike, Hoot Loop, sort of, put them out in the sun and then see them glow type of thing. A lot of people still oblivious to that. They, change colors. People just, what? Didn't know. So that's a little Swap Force tidbit for you. If it still sounds familiar and you've watched a lot of my videos, I actually do custom painted Skylanders in my Mystic paint. Not Mystical, but Mystic. I was doing it long before I knew this was going to come about, and I kind of use like this purple and a pearlescent white with the Mystics. Tends to be my overarching color scheme. I think it looks fantastic. But this is a black, white, and a red Alt-Deco color scheme, and it actually looks pretty cool. So I've got 2 polls up on this chick. Number 1, and this is very relevant now, we're going to do standard Bad Juju versus mystical. And then number 2, this is sort of more personal preference. How do you feel about her being a swashbuckler? And I say that because she used to be a sorcerer in Trap Team. And that kind of bothers me as somewhat of a purist, but I'm curious what your thoughts are. Feel free to vote, SkylanderClub.com, go down to the poll section. Anybody can vote, and if you want to, you can leave your opinions there. If you register, you can leave your opinions here on this video if you are so inclined. So there's our artwork on the side. Note it kept the standard color schemes here. I did not keep the packaging. I can't do it. There's not storage space for that sort of a thing. And once it's kind of unboxed, it's, hey, we've done it. No sense in keeping it, right? It did make for a wonderful backdrop, but the truth is I wanted to play pool, so long story short, there you go. In your hand, onto the portal into the game, and is that simple. Inset artwork. This is a teaser of what she should look like. It looks pretty good. Sadly, it looks like the swords may be blue, like her standard form, which is unfortunate, but that's to be expected with the Alt-Decos. Mystical Bad Juju. Sensei Skylanders unleash almighty Sky Chew powers, and you can unlock unique gear and weapons for your Imaginator Skylanders. Also featured, shameless plug for her standard counterpart, Bad Juju. Master Flare Wolf, again, looks like an amazing character. Grave Clobber, no experience with buckshot, looks fantastic. And of course, a couple of creation crystals. So, we want to come in with our excessively large for the job knife and cut. There is a tape dot here, and juxtaposed on the other side, another tape dot. At that point in time, you're ready to do this. For what it's worth, the GameStop where I picked this up, they had, I think, 1 more. They hadn't sold any either, so unless the employees were holding some, which I don't think any of them play Skylanders, unless they had some in the back, man, they just didn't get jack. And I'm in Texas, and the distribution center, if you didn't know, is in Grapevine. So needless to say, my little neck of the woods, we should have this stuff. Unless they just completely botched it, didn't get the shipment, whatever it may be, I'm afraid that a lot of other people are going to have gone in wanting chain reaction, buckshot, flare wolf, so on and so forth. Probably came up empty-handed as well. Now, if you didn't know, that is the Air Element logo. It looks fantastic. I love this shade of blue. It works beautifully, particularly with the black. But let us pull out the lady of the hour, Mystical Bad Juju. Now, 45's here on the C-channel clamshell, so we'll just break this one up. Pay careful attention. You should be familiar with this, but you can see where the plastic grabs are sort of at the tips of the swords in the hand, and then kind of across the back shoulder blade area. So, what I've been having luck with is actually letting the figure come up from the packaging, the base, if you will, which is sort of counterintuitive to how I would think would work best. And then they've been sliding out fairly easy. This was the case here. So, she kind of feels a bit like slippery. I don't know why. But I have to say, out of the packaging, that looks like something we would have custom painted, and that's pretty cool. So this color scheme does kind of fit her, particularly given the swashbuckler style she's kind of switched over to battle class wise. So before we get too excited about that, this is Bad Juju. Her slogan is, "The spirit is willing." Now to tap that twice, not intended to be extra dramatic. According to the tablet here, power 260 of 350, armor 350 of 350. I don't remember Bad Juju having that. We'll double check here maybe in a second. Agility 300 of 350, luck 90 of 350. Now, my hopes and dreams are that Mystical Bad Juju will have superior stats than her standard counterpart. I also hope that with Solar Flare Aurora and Dark Wolfgang and the rest of the Dark cast. So far, the only time that has rung true, Legendaries. Legendaries have always been special. They've clearly maintained that with the Toys R Us relationship. Maybe these are just Alt-Decos. Maybe they get a stat boost. We're going to have to wait till her introduction to find out. So, Get ready for this, though. Pay careful attention to her previous occupation. Just like her name suggests, Bad Juju had always been bad. From her humble beginnings as a witch doctor, which again, if you didn't know, that sort of explains a lot, doesn't it? Where she put curses on her patients instead of curing them, to being the Golden Queen's right-hand sorcerer. Not making this up, it's in the official bio. And it just adds fuel to the fire, I must say. She had spent her entire life as a villain. Being captured by the Skylanders didn't do much to change her attitude either. At least that was the case until the day she conjured up more than she bargained for. A son named Juju Jr. These are so difficult for me to turn around with one hand. Just the base, the girth, which is great for detail, but not good for entertaining you while I read. It was with his birth that she finally decided it was time to come to change her lifestyle. She didn't want to raise Juju Jr. inside a prison thinking his magical mother was a criminal, so she asked Master Eon to give her a chance to be a hero instead. As luck would have it, Eon was looking for a Swashbuckler sensei who could help train Imaginators the value of being good. Not bad for Bad Juju. Afterwards, she successfully made the transition from Sorcerer to Swashbuckler with such ease and such charisma, she became Mystical. That's not included. I just pulled that, right off the cuff there. Something I wish they would do for the Alt-Decos. Jingle Bell Chompy Mage, Solar Flare Aurora, Mystical Taekwon Crow, which that should look pretty sweet based on this figure. I wish they'd kind of throw us a bone and be like, just throw in that extra sentence at the start or the end that says why they're mystical, why they're special. And you know what? I just remembered we wanted to do this. Okay. So remember, if you will, 260, 350, 390. So 26, 35, 39. 26, 35, 39. 26, 35, 39. 26. Oh, not making this up. If you can get the website to load up. Okay, power is the same at 260. Armor for Bad Juju is 300 out of 350. It is maxed 350 for Mystical Bad Juju. The speed, it is 250 here for Standard Juju. Mystical, I believe, was what, 300? 26, 35, 39. Yeah. Luck is the same, power is the same. Plus 50 on the armor, maxing it out at 350. Plus 50 on the speed, making it 30, or 300 of 350, I should say. I've seen that before, and it hasn't transitioned in-game. I am very optimistic that this will somehow transition in-game. If it does, that's amazing. That makes this the more desirable character to pick up if you're going by statistical analysis. If that's not the case, if you don't care about the stats, if they turn out to be the same, you care about what we're about to do, which is compare and contrast these two side by side. So let's take a good look at this. Mystical Bad Juju sort of has the steel blue air element base. Right there is the Swashbuckler logo. You can see it reflecting nicely. We've sort of got the grip textured asphalt almost feel to the base. Bottom side, air element logo along with the Activision nameplate. Spin it around, just the same old cloud design you've come to know and love here on these new bases. Translucent red for the sword. It's not near as good of a red as you have here just because of the mass of translucency, but this is not pink. It kind of appears that way. I think you can kind of tell it's not. But it's not like a pale pink. It truly does have a red tint to it, more than pink, I would say. But again, it fails in comparison to this. Well, that's just misleading. It's going to be the same tint. This just has more material, therefore looks darker. And I have to say, that looks amazing. Now, she's sort of got like the Central America feel here going on, where this was gold on Standard Juju. It's black, but it's got that same sort of like tribal design, if you will. Coming around here, she's got kind of a undead vibe going, with sort of like the black fading to the gray, transitioning to the white. The handle on the sword is now black. You can see the same thing on the finger guard. Flipping around here, this has the same textured pattern Can we focus? Kind of. You can kind of see it there. Like a potato sack type of a thing. It's got a nice feel to it. It is white here as opposed to the black color scheme we had elsewhere. She's sort of got the studded arm guards, if you will, down here as it approaches her elbow area. She's got the wrap at the elbow. Where we had sort of the really, really cool blue and purple schematic with her hair or headgear, this is going to be red and black. It's a very vibrant red. It works quite well. It's almost like the Bulls, you know, the Chicago Bulls logo, if you will. So that works quite well. The Witch Doctor mask, it is a bit starker of a white. It's not quite the same. I think it's a shade or two different. And it plays quite well. Again, you've kind of got like the tribal earrings here. They don't pop nearly as well since they're not gold and they kind of wash with the rest of the black. But that's kind of a cool aesthetic as well. It's much more subtle. Little paintings there, similar to what you'd see with Fiesta. That's about it for the detail on Mystical Bad Juju. Now, this is the money shot. This is the ultimate question. Standard Bad Juju in my left hand. Mystical Bad Juju in my right hand. They're the same price. We'll assume the same statistics according to the in-game stats, or the advertised stats on the website. Superior. In-game, we don't know yet. We'll check it out. But assuming all things are equal, you can get one of these based solely on aesthetics. Which one do you think looks better? Standard Bad Juju or Mystical Bad Juju? Poll is available, SkylanderClub.com. Scroll down to the poll section. Anybody can vote. You can vote as many times as you want to for as many devices as you have. If you want to come in and tell me why Bad Juju is in fact so much superior to Mystical, you'll need to register. But if you just want to vote to say, hey, Mystical is in fact way better looking than Standard, you don't have to register. You can vote. Anyone can vote. If you want to post on the forum, you will need to register. I run the site. There's no third-party people. It's little old me. If you sign up and your account doesn't get activated, hit me up on Twitter or leave a comment or something. I stay very busy. I don't necessarily get to go in and check every night for new accounts. That said, here they are. There's beauty in both of them. I'm not going to lie. You know I don't like gold. But the aesthetics for Standard Bad Juju, they just work. I love the color scheme. It's something we haven't really seen much of before, and it looks fantastic. With Mystical, it also looks really good, but I don't know if I like it better than Standard. I love the color scheme. I love the concept. This mystical scheme that we'll see here and with Taekwon Crow. I kind of hope they'll continue it, because I think the black, white, and red has a lot of potential. If there's a stat increase, I really hope they continue it. But for me personally, it's a tough call. I mean, this really is. This isn't a deal where it's like, yes, no. It's kind of like, ooh, this is tough. I'm having a hard time with it. I'm inclined initially to say aesthetically right here. But I'm not sure. I might wait till I see him in game. But in hand, I'm kind of leaning this direction. Let me know your take on it, which one you prefer. That said, here in the U.S., again, I do believe she's exclusive to GameStop. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like I'm 95% sure. $14.99 Canadians, apparently you were able to pick her up a little bit earlier than us at EB Games. I assume Australia will do the same thing. Europe, I have no clue who your retailer would be. It will probably be store exclusive, though. But cast your vote in the polls. Take part in it. It's free. It's easy. It's fun. That's why I built the forum, for people like yourself to have a good time with. But man, again, I'm Flare Wolf, Buckshot, amazing. Not quite as excited about Bad Juju. I'm not a fan of like the Juju Jr. vibe, right? I've never been a fan of that sort of thing. It's not just with her. It goes back to Sonic Boom and Double Trouble. But I'm going to take the pass. We're going to see which one we like. We'll save a little bit of time doing this, so that's cool. And it got us a discount on Jingle Bell Chompy Mage, which is fantastic and Christmassy. So That said, let me know your thoughts on Juju and Mystical Bad Juju, and we'll have some fun. I'm sure she will upgrade pretty nicely, so we'll have both paths available to us. If you've got path suggestions for which one, how you took them, which one got which path, let me know down below. I'll try to figure something up too. A lot of it will depend on Juju Jr. and his color scheme. So if he appears here and he is in standard coloration, she's probably going to take the top path, which is the Swashbuckler based, and then we'll let standard go with the Juju Jr. But we'll see how it pans out. But oneofwisdom.com, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Beam, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. SkylanderClub.com, once again, you know the drill there. We got the polls, I'll have them linked, and I will continue to include the Trap Team video, Skylanders Villainography that we did, where you can see Bad Juju as a sorcerer, and then kind of conjure up your own opinions as to whether you prefer her as the Trap Team Sorcerer or as the Skylanders Imaginators Swashbuckler. So that said, thanks so much for watching. This is probably going to be our thumbnail here. Make sure to vote in the polls and give me your feedback. I mean, that's sort of what we did back in the day. That's what I want to continue to do. But for myself and the Jujus, thanks so much for watching. Good luck picking up Wave 3 and Mystical Bad Juju if you're after her. I guess Standard Bad Juju as well, since she's part of Wave 3. But good luck there. Thanks for watching. I will catch you back here for more Imaginators action from the pool table.